Welcome to another episode of In the Nude. Today we're going to talk about being tired of triggers and emotional exhaustion. First, I'm going to resonate with it, right? Because that just can feel cathartic. Like when you're having a bad day and being like, yeah, that was a horrible day. That's what we're going to do in the beginning and then we're going to break down, okay? It is exhausting living this life, right? You're going about and it's a normal day, right? And something small happens and all of a sudden the parts inside of you are triggered. These childhood parts. It's a perfectly, completely safe environment. And you know that factually, but your body responds like all of a sudden it is not a safe environment. And now you're having to deal with all of the different feelings you're having. And it's like, why can't you just respond like a normal person? Why am I having to have yet another situation to break down and calm and reside with it's exhausting. It's frustrating. I mean, let's just imagine whatever a perfect childhood or even a good enough childhood would look like. I don't know what, let's pretend we didn't have all of this. Just life without that is exhausting. Put aside messed up childhood, put aside financial problems and just look at the field of land, the landscape of what the world looks like, the amount of fighting, the choices that are being made, the freedoms that are being taken, people's inhumanities, and then you add in financial situation, which, and then you add, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's just too much. And it's exhausting. And it's fair that you're frustrated. It's fair that you're angry. It's fair that you're tired. It's fair that you're defeated. It's fair. It's literally not only fair, it's rational. It's reasonable. It is so normal, fitting, but that's the response. It's just yet another thing you've got to take care of. Yet another thing that you've got to handle. And it's so much. You already had so much, and yet again, it's so much. It's like you're walking up a hill, and all of a sudden, instead of it just being a hill, it's now a giant mountain. You're like, okay. And you know it isn't about this situation. You know that it's a flag to what was. But it's just did I have to? Did it have to? Couldn't I just respond like a normal person? Couldn't it just be me seeing factually that can't I just say that? Can't I just be like, hey, it isn't that situation and we can just move on? It's fair to be frustrated. It's fair to want to have responded differently. It's okay that you're mad. Honestly, it's the only reasonable response. Both to what your experience was and the fact you have these triggers. Because what are they? What are these triggers? They're flags pointing to the field of pain that you've experienced in your life. They're these waving, loud, bright flags to scars and cuts and stabs that you've suffered and lived through. It's fair to be mad at those. Honestly, it's reasonable. It's a good thing. It's you saying you don't deserve those things. But you're not just mad that they exist. You're mad at having to deal with them, which is also fair because if you had been cared for before, you wouldn't have those scars. But now you're having to take care of your life and yourself in the past because somebody else didn't do it. But you're also not just mad that you didn't have help and that happened. You're mad that you're having to do it now because it's an inconvenience. And it's reasonable that's a response too. You know why? Oh, it's gonna hit. You're treating your problems and your pain the same way they did. Oh, I know. That doesn't feel good, does it? Didn't feel good for me either. You're treating your pain as an inconvenience because that's how they treated you. Your existence, your pain, your voice. It's only fair that you would see that modeled and take on that behavior. It's only fair that would be the natural response to you being loud and taking up space, because that's what happened when you were loud and took up space. but we're unwriting all of that. We're unwinding all of that, and we're creating a world where you get to be full, loud, authentic you. Where you get to take up space and have joy and play. So that also means that we have to, while it's fair, while it's reasonable, we have to decide to show up for ourselves in the way that we never got treated. Your pain is not an inconvenience. Your pain is not an inconvenience. I'm saying this to you because you need to hear it. Your pain is not an inconvenience. This experience is frustrating, but it is also one of the most integrated and authentic and all-encompassing ways that you can fully embody the truth that you love yourself. That you get to show up and you get to prove to yourself that your pain isn't an inconvenience, that you aren't an inconvenience, that you're worth the energy of giving company and compassion to. That you get to sit down and change the narrative for yourself. That you get to sit with yourself. And when these pain points, these flags of past pain come up in your day-to-day life, and they're over silly things, it's a safe place. When it's over a silly thing, it's a safe place to go back and touch stone with those hurt parts of yourself that are stuck in those moments. It's a safe place and time to sit with that and just exist with what they live through and thank them, that part of yourself. Do you know how strong you were? I think you forget it. You have lived through so much hurt, so much pain. You had so much strength that you never, ever wanted to have. But you did. You showed up. You were given a broken tool set, okay? As a kid, the one thing you're supposed to do as a kid is learn. And the one thing you have to be able to do to learn is fail. And you were told, learn, but don't fail. You were given a broken subset of rules. You can't do the learning without the failing, and yet you were asked to. And so you lived with double punishment, external punishment for having failed, and then internal bullying, trying to protect yourself from having that external bullying, because you believed them that you could learn without failing. And you have all these scars and these pains, and you were trying to protect yourself. But we get to go back in these safe environments when somebody who doesn't matter triggers those things. And we get to sit with those parts. And we get to sit with those pain points, and we get to say, it wasn't okay. It wasn't okay. I can't fix what was, but I can tell you right now, it wasn't okay. And we can together move forward and be safe. We won't let that happen again. It's a gift you can give to yourself. To sit with yourself and show yourself how you've made yourself safe now. That part of you that's scared, it's in you. It's taking up space with a tight shoulder or a clenched forehead or a tense stomach. It's sitting there. Because it's all of these feelings. Because a feeling isn't just this frivolous nothing. Science has proven a feeling is a tangible thing that takes up space in your body. And when you don't feel the feeling, it stays and it breaks down. Did you know? Okay, so my kids, I've been teaching them this last week about Marie Curie, right? The person who founded all information about radioactivity, basically, right? And what is radioactivity? That she labeled the word radioactivity is when an atom is breaking down and releasing energy. An atom is breaking down and releasing energy. And that energy then becomes toxic, and when absorbed into your human body, starts affecting and breaking down the cells there. Emotions unprocessed are like radioactivity within yourself. There's energy and weight to them that exists in your person, and when you don't allow it to be felt, and when you feel the feeling, it isn't holding on to it, it isn't staying here. It's like that feeling when you had a bad day and you're telling somebody about your bad day, And they're like, that was a bad day. I'm sorry. And all of a sudden, them just saying those words, part of it goes away. Part of the weight, part of the anger, part of the injustice of it. That same thing happens with all the feelings if we just let them take up space. If we just let them have a felt moment to be seen. But when we don't, because we're not allowed to take up space, and we shove them down inside of ourselves, it starts eroding. It starts showing up as chronic anxiety. It starts showing up in pain points in our body. This is a gift that you can give to your literal body and your heart and your soul. To sit there, and when these things come up, allow that part of you that was never allowed to feel the pain that was given to them. Your pain is not an inconvenience. You are worth sitting and allowing. You're worth giving yourself that compassion and company. No, it's not always fun. But I'm going to tell you something on the other side of sitting with yourself in that. There is this, like when somebody says, man, that was a bad day. There's this weight of it that goes away. There might be some exhaustion too, because sometimes these are very big feelings and sometimes they're not alone. It might be more than one coming out at the same time. But you're worth that. And on the other side of that, of allowing the feeling to take up space, is it's less contained in your body. There's less of that tension. And the more that we sit with ourselves each time they come up, those parts that were hurt and pained, realize that you're going to show up for yourself consistently. That you're going to be that adult that you needed as a kid. Because those parts that are pained, it's like they're frozen in time, stuck in a cage, constantly being probed and briared by those same pain points. Say that your parent was one of those it's never enough parent. You could do everything and somehow it still wouldn't be enough. Every time you come across one of those other people in the world that are like that, you're going to get bristled by it. But that person in that cage is constantly on high alert for those environments. They live there. But when we take the time to sit with them, we can slowly but surely let them see that we're safe enough that they'll get out of that cage. We're parts of ourselves where they decided that they were going to protect ourselves by attacking. And when we help them see that we will keep ourselves safe, or bullying ourselves, and we say, you know what? You helped us before, but now we can do something else. It's a slow process. In the same way that you lived for years in being told to be quiet and that you were a waste, not given the attention and affection or compassion that you needed. You've got to give yourself the grace for the fact it's going to take some time. But that time period, if we can view it instead of like forking, we have more we have to walk up, we can have that view, and it's fair. Fair. I have definitely had that view and have to struggle with that view on a regular basis. But if we can rebrand it in our head, that instead of it being this hike up this hill is so much work, and I'm trying to get there, wherever there is, if we can instead stop and say, you know what? There's no rush. Why don't I stop here? It's okay to stop here. There's some pretty stuff here. Let's look at some flowers and bugs, the view. Take a picnic, eat a snack. I don't have to be in a hurry. There's not something so amazing that's over there that I can't also experience here. And that's a hard thing to do, especially if you've been raised to be perfectionist. Especially with the culture of get, go, achieve. But the more that we can let go of the there. And be with ourselves in the here. The more the things we're wanting, the feelings we're wanting from that, we gain in the moment right now. You're worth sitting with yourself. You're worth all of it. You're worth sitting in quiet in what seems like a waste of time because your resting is productive. You're worth stopping at the silly store and meandering despite you not really having the time because you really wanted to. Play isn't frivolous. It is productive. You having space and time to feel your big feelings is worth the effort, is productive. It adds to and increases the joy and expanse of the life that you want to have. It isn't an inconvenience. You're not an inconvenience. You're worth that energy, that effort,